A lot of films in the Western genre usually follow a typical plot of maintaining law and order in a fast-paced action story. It is one of the oldest and most flexible genres, as well as one of the most characteristically American. The Western genre began in 1903 with the release of the first Western-style film, The Great Train Robbery, which was part of the silent era. Western films were popular during the silent era due to key conventions of the genre, including setting and the key theme of good versus evil. However, after the silent era, Western films began to die off when sound came into films in 1927 to 1928, thus reducing the amount of Western genre productions. Despite this, there was a resurgence of the genre when Stagecoach by John Ford was released in 1939. This release took place in the golden age of the Western era, 1930 to 1950. The Western genre has many codes and conventions which help audiences to identify the genre. Some of the most common codes are horses, which are used as a mode of transport for cowboys; bar fights, which are commonly used with close-up shots to show emotions and to add emphasis to the intensity of fights; guns are often used in the genre to highlight the fight between the two sides; leather boots, which are used by cowboys when riding horses and are thus a significant icon for the Western genre; the piano, which are used in Western films to highlight the tension when the fights are taking place; and a Stetson hat, which is commonly used to identify the main characters. Western films are often set in hot American states, which are usually associated with barren deserts, such as Texas. The deserts will typically have tumbleweed and cacti to show how lonely their environment is, and therefore may be used as a symbol for the main character's life. The main characters in Western films are often shown to the audience through a low camera angle to portray them as dominant and more important than the other characters shown through the high camera angles. Camera angles are also used in the Western genre to provide links between specific scenes for the audience, for example by the camera following the protagonist. Contrastingly, if the camera stays in a static position and a person walks away, it could signify the end of a scene or the insignificance of the character. Within the Western genre, there are key language features seen throughout all of the films. Taunts are regularly used by both the protagonist and the antagonist to assert dominance over the other. The sparse language in the Western genre means the characters add mystery and power through the harsh and demanding tone, which will show and emphasize their aggression. Additionally, to convey aggression to the audience, the characters use movement and facial expression, such as staring at other characters and opening coats to reveal gun holsters to enemies to increase the tension. Popular Western films are Once Upon a Time in the West, which was directed by Sergio Leone in 1968, High Noon, directed by Fred Zinnemann, starring Gary Cooper in 1952, and The Searchers by John Ford, which aired in 1956, starring John Wayne. The Western genre has lots of subgenres, including Shoot 'em Up, which is a low-budget, high-violence production where the cowboy never runs out of bullets. These kind of movies are typically quite romantic but very violent. Another subgenre is the epic genre, which tends to be more complex with deep characters where the protagonists usually shift alliances and turn to violence as the last resort. This subgenre includes the film Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone. Additionally, another subgenre is contemporary, which involves advanced technology and takes place in modern society, but still in the American West. It rejects the outdated brand of justice of old Western-type characters who struggle in the civilized world. There are many iconic figures in the Western genre, including John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, and Calamity Jane. John Wayne was an American filmmaker and actor who starred in nearly 250 films over his career, over 80 of those being westerns. He has worked with the likes of John Ford and Henry Hathaway in True Grit, where he played U.S. Marshal Cogburn. John Wayne was said to have a net worth of over $50 million. Clint Eastwood was also an American actor who achieved success in the Western TV series Rawhide, and he has received nominations for awards such as Best Actor. He has starred in For a Few Dollars More and A Fistful of Dollars. His net worth is alleged to be roughly $375 million. Calamity Jane is another iconic figure in the Western genre, however she is a real-life character rather than an actor. Calamity Jane was renowned for cross-dressing and for her sharpshooting in the Wild West. She has a reputation for being heroic and charitable in her time, but unfortunately died in 1903. The film Calamity Jane is based on her life and a suspected romance between Wild Bill Hickok. Doris Day plays Calamity Jane, and the film was nominated for multiple awards such as Best Sound and Best Original Sound.